Hi, it's Suzanne from the Marks Group here with you again to talk about ZOHO CRM. So I have a couple tips again for you this month, and we're going to get right into it. So this month we're talking about workflows. We're talking about how to reactivate them. Sometimes they deactivate if your account lapses or some other situation. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about multiple currencies, and we're also going to talk about running workflows on imported records. So let's switch over to the screen. And here we go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is sometimes a situation like if you're doing a trial for ZOHO and your account lapses before you actually convert it to a paid account. It gets deactivated and then you reactivate your account. And sometimes workflows get deactivated in that process. So when you pop back in and all of a sudden you notice your workflows aren't working anymore, and that's because they've been deactivated. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to check for that. So we're going to go into automation workflow. That brings up your all your workflows, and you can check particular ones by clicking on them. And then you can look here to see whether or not it's active. And this particular one is not active, and we just check it to reactivate it. Okay. And then it's active, so then you can see the status that it's active. Okay, super easy. So now I'm going to move on to executing a workflow when you're importing records. So oddly enough in ZOHO, when you set up workflows to trigger, I come back on camera, when you set up workflows to trigger when a record is created or edited, put a record and create records that way, it doesn't trigger those workflows currently set up. So instead, you have to trigger them on import. So ZOHO has built that in to the importing process. Let me take you back to the screen. So in here, when you're importing your contacts, you can choose a file. So you choose your file. We're going to pick contacts for import. And then as you come down here, click on Advanced Options to open that up. And you can choose workflow tasks to choose from. So right now we just have one set up, so we can choose that one. But basically, so you choose your file in the import, and then click on Advanced Options, and then that opens up. There's a couple different things you can look at here, and the key one that I wanted to point out is the workflow task. So you can choose one workflow to execute on this imported record. Okay? And then lastly, we're going to talk about using multiple currencies with ZOHO. So if you have a company that operates globally or in at least one other country, and you have to deal with multiple currencies, you can configure your ZOHO to handle that quite easily. So I'm going to show you that. So come into your setup area. You're going to click on Organization Settings, and then click on Currencies, and that brings you to this screen. So right now, we've already established in our demo system that our home currency is the US dollar. To add additional currencies, you can also customize the format of how your currency looks. So to add additional currencies, you just click this Add Currency, click your drop down. Let's pick the British pound sterling, and then you can add in an exchange rate. So look up what the current exchange rate is, and it'll compute that. What the system uses the exchange rate for is if you're the pounds in a quote or an invoice, the system will also compute what the home currency is, in this case the US dollar. So you'll have your pound amounts on your quote, but then it'll also convert that to dollars, and it uses that exchange rate. So we all know that that exchange rate fluctuates on a frequent basis, so you can always go in and update your exchange rate as you're preparing your quotes. Okay, so we hit save, and then here we go. We have our currency. And again, that you can, when you go into your quotes or your invoices, one thing when you establish a multiple currency, when you establish your home currency, that the system, it takes a little while, message will pop up, takes a little while to configure, and the reason why is because it's adding currency fields to all of the applicable modules for you. So once you establish your home currency, then those fields automatically get added, and next time you go in to do a quote, you'll see currency fields already in there. So you can choose to change your currency for the particular quote or invoice that you're doing, and those can be configured on a quote-by-quote basis. So you can have some quotes in US dollars and some quotes in British pounds or whatever currency you choose. Okay, so those are my 3 quick ZOHO CRM tips for this month. Remember, we do this every month, and to see our tips, you can see them in video form on our YouTube channel, or you could go to our blog and see them in written form, marksgroup.net. I will give you access to both the video and written blogs. And we are creating a library of videos, so hopefully we'll find lots of answers and solutions using the marksgroup.net. And tune in next month when we will have 3 more ZOHO tips for you. All right, thank you. Have a great month, and we'll see you next month.